I am alive and it is great to be alive. Thank you so much for joining me today and spending your time here. Okay, real quick, before we start this video, I obviously want to state that this is all opinion based, but I'm going to be showing you what is, in my opinion, the top 3 Warframes for defense missions. Now, this is no specified order. This is just the 3 frames that I think are the coolest. And one of the reasons that I'm not listing any above the others is because they're all cool, and even better if you pair them all on a team together. So this might surprise some of you, but at the top of my list, I'm actually going to place Mag. So my choice with Mag may surprise some of you, but honestly, she is a nuclear weapon. You can send out your polarization wave, which not only damages enemies, but it also shreds their armor. Oh, I accidentally spawned all these guys at level 140, not the best test, but honestly, up to level 80s or so even, she can nuke the entire map, and the fact that she can shred enemies' armor means she's incredibly helpful against the Grineer, and then she can also detonate the shields and deal extra damage to Corpus enemies, so she's really cool. The only downside to her is that she's not going to be great against Infected, but you can also build her for Bullet Mag. Look at this thing. You just make a giant bubble that sucks in whatever projectiles go into it, dealing extra damage to the enemies. Oh, and get this, when the ability reaches the end of its duration, it explodes for a big nuclear blast. What more could you possibly want? So she is great at crowd controlling. You can build her in several different ways as well. Kitty! Kiba, stop it! You guys, my new kitten is going nuts over my headphone cord. You can build her in multiple different ways, which is really cool too, because you can get a lot of versatility and different play styles, so you can mix it up and she doesn't get boring. Alright, I've spawned all the enemies again at level 50, just so I can show you guys a better rough example of how her powers might function. So as you can see, against level 50 enemies, it'll downright kill them, fling them across the map, or shred every little bit of armor that they had. So obviously, if you're playing a defense mission with friends, she's going to be extremely useful. My particular mag build is very squishy, but she is great at supporting the team and making everyone easier to kill. Next on this list should not surprise anybody. It is Frost. More specifically, I'm using Frost Prime. He remains, in my opinion, the unchallenged king of creating defensive barriers to not only protect allies, but also keep out enemies. Look, you can slow them, it blocks bullets, it's fairly easy to regain the energy to recast this ability, and on top of that, if you are using a blind Rage Frost build, which I am, you can freeze enemies solid in their tracks, dealing lots of damage and also shattering a lot of their armor. He is awesome. The reason I recommend Frost for one of my top 3 defense frames is because, much like I said with my Mag, she deals a lot of damage but is super squishy. If I had a Frost on my team all the time, I would be able to go far longer and utilize all of her offensive abilities a lot more. And that's what's cool about playing as Frost is, yes, you're kind of a defensive frame, but what you're not realizing is how much more effective you're allowing your teammates to become due to the fact that you're protecting them and giving them a nice place to just kind of chill, hang out, and recuperate from between the fighting. Last but not least, on my top 3 list, I'm going to pick Nova because it's just, I remember the first time I ever saw this. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life, or in video games for that matter. This. You send out this molecular wave that primes enemies. You can not only make them easier to kill, but you make them move drastically slower, including how fast they're able to reload their weapons. But here's the real kicker. They freaking explode when you kill them. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. You make enemies easier to kill, you make them slow so they can barely fight back, and they blow up, dealing damage to nearby enemies. I shouldn't have to say this, but if you combine my Mag build that I was showing earlier in the video with the fact that you could just make all the enemies essentially bombs, yeah, you can strip all their armor and just cause them all to self-destruct. It's amazing. It's fantastic. If you pair those 3 frames together on a defense mission, I guarantee you're going to get extremely far, and it's just so much fun. Again, a lot of this is just down to personal opinion, but if I had a dream team, it would be those 3 frames, and then if I could throw a 4th in there, it would probably be a Gara. She's not as good of a defensive barrier frame as Frost, but she also deals a lot more damage due to the fact that she can shatter her barrier. So I would say she's probably tied with Frost if you want a little more offense But Gara's cool too. I just still think Frost does a better job with barriers. So anyways, those are my top 3 frames for defense missions. If you guys want builds for those frames, let me know and I will make those videos. Otherwise, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody.